hardcore free-for-all.
They
Neutralize all threats.
Corporations, so if you can't touch it, and because I can't afford a private corporation, they will get up the street. So we just keep moving down this road. And I think there's some secrecy, but there's also, I've been told by some well-connected folks that these craft we do have, we really, it's kind of like, I'm an old motorcycle guy. I've got a 1947 Indian Chief. So I take that back to the Mayflower, and they land at Plymouth Rock or whatever. And, they're going to see this bright, shiny object. Maybe they can roll it and they think, wow, this is cool looking. I don't know what it is. They would never be able to adjust the carburetor. They would never be able to adjust the spark plugs. They probably couldn't get a fuel behind enough octane to make it kick over. It'd be a bright, shiny object. And they might get it started. But they wouldn't do it when they got it started. So we've got all that. And then you put the arrogance into it. They have this stuff since at least 1947. Wow. And I think Roswell was a cover-up. 1947. Because military intelligence comes out literally with a press release. And it's released to all the presses in the press release. Record of it. It says, saucer captured. The next day, they come out and say, oh no, we made a mistake. It was a hot air balloon.
Yeah.
Now, how do you go from a saucer to a hot air balloon? To me, that's just beyond belief. And the arrogance associated with that, believing that we'll believe that to me. Back in the day, we did. But now we know that's not the case. I've been in government most of my life.
No, I'll tell you this, that the feeling that I have as a person that's never been in government is that the trust is growing by the minute. Because we know that there's good people in government like yourself and others that are trying to do their best. They sometimes thwarted by deep state and power that
was destroyed.
Fools that when they get power, they want to, exercise their ignorance. And so I think that we're becoming a lot more skeptical. Even the stuff that's released, I tell my audience, you got to look at it, evaluate that too. What is the government really showing us real stuff? Do you think that it's in part? Because I want to know. I can't. I'm probably never going to be able to see any of the stuff that you've seen, and maybe none of us will. What is one thing that you think that the public knew, or is there something that if the public knew, it would cause the public to crumble? Not the technology aspect of it, but something, or I'll say it like this, being a Christian, do you think that if we knew everything that the government knows about this, would it affect Christianity? Would it cause people to fall away from the faith, or do you think it'll cause people to get closer to the faith because of what they've been able to observe?
I know. I've seen a lot of things that don't exist and don't exist and defy our laws and physics. And to me, I go back and read the Bible. Genesis 1, God created the heavens and the earth. And you go to the you'll saw the wheel. Now the wheel at that time was, this is translated from Hebrew to King James. But the wheel was something that was technologically advanced item they had at the time was a wheel. And they talk about a wheel within a wheel, which would be the classic saucer. You get around and it's got the dome on top. I don't think it does. And I think that it's kind of arrogant to think that we're the best thing that God could ever made. I just can't imagine him as humans up on his mantle saying, gosh, this is the best I could ever do. But I go out every night and I look at the stars, and the light from those stars, literally, and this is hard for my little brain to figure out. It took me 6 years to get out of the University of Tennessee, and I didn't drink much. My daddy on the mom was on the board. Mama was daddy put her on the Hall of Fame at Knoxville College. She's worked with Black College there in Knoxville. And so she taught forever. very educated family, I'm not that end of the spectrum. But I say that the in my ability to understand the light from those stars that they're seeing it left there before the time of Christ. Well, it's, that's light. That's fast, man. And I just can't comprehend it. And some of those stars that we see, the light left there, the star no longer exists. That I can't even comprehend that. It's like I don't smoke weed, but if I did, that'd be the kind of thing I'd sit there and think about all the time.
Yeah,
No, I just don't have I'm not worried about it. I'm good with Jesus. I'm not worried about all that stuff. That doesn't. And I hear people saying, I've had people tell me that, and I've seen preachers on the internet calling me out for this stuff. It's demonic and all this, and maybe some of it is, but maybe some of it isn't. But shouldn't I know? Why should my government block that kind of stuff? And I just don't. I just can't go that route.
Yeah, I think people with little faith they haven't been open-minded enough, and they've probably been a little too arrogant. What the Bible says. I think the people who operate in humility, understand God is in control no matter what, I think will fare better when we get access to new information, because the Bible never said that there was no quote-unquote what we call aliens. The Bible never predicted any of these things. People have done it in their own minds and visualized the agenda. I think some of those pastors are guilty of it. They're afraid. They're deceiving the people and telling the people some of these things are absolute, and they have not done the research. So when stuff comes out, they're going to either have to deny it, or they're going to have to, tell the congregation that they lied. But I was worried about that. I was worried that some of this information will come out and people will begin to
Falling apart. Go for the jugular.
We are ready to launch. Drone ready for deployment.
Intelligent communication between these foreign entities and human beings over the historical time periods that people are about.
I think that's more of a control thing. I just think they're trying to control us in our thoughts. And, that bothers me. Atheists, knuckleheads, and government, worried about my faith. I think that's just a misdirection by them. I think they're just not being true to themselves. And again, the Bible talks about people that professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. That's one thing I never do is I never get cocky about how much I know, because there's always going to be some 12-year-old kid that knows more than I do.
Right, that's true.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say, it's like when the government says,
deploying viewer on your target.
You're not going to be able to have
Corporate appreciates your role in today's success.
West Knoxville.
This just in. Dempsey is a fucking badass.
People want to hear if these things are real or not, right? So the first one is, do you think aliens are, based on what you know, amongst us now, meaning that they could be living amongst the population, living in a house down the street, or do you think they're